This is why you shouldn't overlook the Utah Mammoth in the 2026 Stanley Cup playoffs. Let's get into it. Now the season isn't over, but the Mammoth have clinched for the first time since the rebrand. Right now it's April 12th. They've won 5 out of their last 6 games. They're playing right now. They are losing 2-0 to the Calgary Flames. Now they don't need to win any more games, but at this point it's all about seeding, and they don't want to go into the playoffs on a cold streak. But aside from that, they've been red hot, and this is exactly why I think they can make a deep run in this year's playoffs. First, let's cover some of the basics. The Mammoth are 42-31-6. And then where they rank in some of the key stats compared to the rest of the league. In goals per game, they're at 3.28, which is 10th in the league. And then in goals against is 2.89, which is tied for 6th in the league. Their goal differential is 8th. Their power play sits at 19.8%, which is 19th in the league. And their penalty kill is at 78.2%, which is also 19th in the league. Wouldn't say I'm surprised on the penalty kill aspect, but they have a ton of talent, which is a little weird for the power play side. At the start of the year, if you would have told me that they would have been the 19th best power play, I would have been pretty surprised with the skill in the group that they have, but nonetheless, they're 19th. Still not a group I would want to face. And then for point leaders, Clayton Keller is leading them with 84. Nick Schmaltz is at 72. Guenther is also at 72. And then for goalies, Vejmelka is 37, 20, and 3. And then Vitek Vanacek is 5, 11, and 3. So Vejmelka is definitely the 1A. Now let's get into why I think they're a sneaky, dangerous team. All right, let's talk about Logan Cooley. Everyone knows about Clayton Keller, Guenther. People kind of forgot about Cooley when he was out for more than 2 months with a lower body injury. He's only played in 50 games this year, but he has 41 points, 23 goals, and 18 assists. He has 8 points in his last 5 games. But I think the biggest stat to talk about with Cooley is his shooting percentage, which is at 24%. That means basically 1 out of every 4 shots he takes goes in the net. I mean, the NHL average is 13, so 24 is absurd. If he didn't miss all that time, we might be talking about a top 15 scorer in the league. Now, when you hear about the Utah Mammoth, like me, you probably think high-flying offense, a ton of goals, but a really underrated part of their game is their defense. As I mentioned before, Vejmelka has 37 wins on the year and a 2.72 goals against average, which isn't elite, but it's good enough. And then a super underrated player on their team this year is John Marino. He's plus 39 on the year. Absolute lockdown. And then one more thing I added here is their 5v5 save percentage is .911, which isn't elite, but it's well above average. Now, with the amount of goals that they do score, having these stats on defense is a really nice balance and a winning recipe for sure. They're currently in the first wild card. They have 3 games left. They're playing the Flames right now. It's 2-0. After 2, you never know. They might come back. It's not a huge deal. Winnipeg on Tuesday and then the Blues on Thursday. I don't see them falling to wild card 2, especially with these opponents coming up. They should win at least their last 2. Might not win tonight. But yeah, let's talk about who they're going to be facing. All right, if the season ended today, it would be the Mammoth away at Vegas. I don't see the Mammoth falling to wild card 2, so it's mainly what the teams ahead of them do. Another potential matchup is the Mammoth being away at the Oilers. Edmonton's only 1 back of the Knights. If they can overtake the Knights, they'd take first place in the Pacific, and then it would be them versus the Mammoth. Personally, that's the series I would rather see. I feel like the pace would just be unmatched. High scoring, tons of goals, just back and forth action, and who doesn't want that? But yeah, I'm really excited for what they can do in the playoffs. And if I had to pick one team that's a sleeper, it would definitely be them.